Sue Smith says, "Hi, Bill. This is my 5th time asking." Hi, Sue. Guess what? But I'll keep trying unless you tell me to pound sand. No, don't pound sand at all. I'm glad you kept trying. I admire persistence. Anyway, since politics is downstream of culture, is there a reverse underground railroad that exists to help smuggle conservative artists into Hollywood? If so, how can we nominate someone to be a double agent? If not, are you willing to listen to my plan? Thanks. Always willing to listen to any kind of plan that's pro-freedom. Sue, there is a conservative underground in Hollywood, and I was a part of it, and it is, with a few standout exceptions, intimidated and battered and terrified. And I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. I mean, I don't know what the point of having, thousands of people in a movement is if no one's going to do anything with the movement. The whole idea is to stand up, because if you stand up and announce it, then instead of, 2,000 people, you have 20,000 people. So there is a conservative underground in Hollywood. There's no underground railroad to get people in here, but I would recommend to you, if you're in show business, that this would be the worst place to go. The worst place to be. Because everything out here is unionized, and in order to get a film made in Los Angeles, you have to be able to crack the studio system, which still exists. In other words, if you're here to write a script, you're going to have to write 3 scripts, 4 scripts that are just going to get thrown away before you really understand story structure, and then you got to get past the readers, and you got to get past all the, the people that are doing the, treatments on it, and then you got to deal with the competition, and then you have to hope that some D-bag someplace in some skyscraper is going to try and make your story without adding a talking dog to it, and I just think it's the worst possible place to be. If you're a filmmaker and you're in, Des Moines, I think your chance of getting a feature film made are far better in Des Moines by going to various car dealerships and uncles and friends of the family. I think that's a much better route than coming out here. With that said, we need a storytelling army more than anything in this world. We need a storytelling army, and I would rather tell. If it's going to be told badly, I'd rather not tell it, because when conservatives put out bad movies, it actually hurts worse. It's worse than no movies. I really genuinely believe that. Just an example. I thought Atlas Shrugs could be made into a very compelling movie, but that 3-part thing they did, where you're now talking about captains of industry, and it was just so low budget. It was so low budget that it made the book look ridiculous. And I admire them for trying. God knows I certainly admire them, and putting their money where their mouth is, all that stuff. I completely get it, but it just looked awful. And I think, Susan, Sue, we need to get top quality people out there. And the last episode I was talking about starting an academy for young men. I think we ought to be doing a motion picture academy for conservatives and training teachers, not just filmmakers, people who can go out there and teach people, how to do it. And you got to be ruthless. And one thing I'll just say about this is, the one thing I've learned about excellent movie making and storytelling is ruthlessness. You've got anybody can throw away bad. Well, certainly that's not true. Most people don't throw away the bad stuff. Most writers and filmmakers are so enamored with every single precious word that they've written that they don't edit even the bad stuff. Oh, no, that's really great. I love this bit. Yeah, well, it doesn't really help the story. Yeah, but I really like it. Okay, now that's how you ruin a movie. But the ruthlessness I was talking about, and I've told this story on Cheers, and when I was doing spec scripts for Cheers, was that they would not only throw away the stuff that wasn't working, they would throw away stuff that was working if it wasn't firing on all cylinders and advancing the story. That's discipline. And discipline is something we really, really need. My favorite moment one of my favorite moments in film history is in Ed Wood, where Ed Wood plays, the worst director in human history, Ed Wood. Johnny Depp plays Ed Wood, the worst director who ever lived. And he goes into the back of Musso and Frank's one day. He's really depressed, and sitting there is Orson Welles, who's the best director who ever lived. I made the best movie anyway. Ed Wood made the worst movie. Orson Welles made the best movie. And these two guys both love movies, and they're sitting there talking to each other. I was watching the scene in real time, and I was thinking to myself, in real time, what's the difference between these two guys? They're both filmmakers, both directors, both love making movies. You can tell they're incredibly passionate about it. What is the difference? And I realized that Ed Wood, as his wrestling guy, is carrying this, passed out damsel in his arms. She'll kick the door and the whole flat will just wobble, and he'll go out of frame, and the DP says, Ed, we got to do it again. And she knocked the door. Oh, nobody will see that. Don't worry. Let's move on. And Orson Welles will take 2 days to light one shot. It's the details. It's the discipline. It's the difference between quality and dreck, is attention to details. I know I've told this before too, but people used to ask me how long it takes to do a firewall post-production. Takes me 4 hours to do it. It takes me 6 hours to do it well, and it takes me 8 hours to do it perfectly. So the answer is 8 hours.